Coming to you from the wild, wild western side of San Antonio. That's where we are, although we're in a bit more posh setting than we usually are.
Yes.
We're relaxed and sitting on the couch.
Hanging out.
Just
in front
chilling.
of the big screen.
With the
Chilling
gunslinger
like a
helmet.
villain.
With a gunslinger helmet here as the centerpiece to this whole thing. But we're still on the wild, wild western side of San Antonio. We're the Smokin Gunz podcast. I'm Philip Higginbotham. I'm joined as always by R.C. Woods.
Hello, everybody. Get ready. Bang, bang.
And Leo Yamas.
What's up, gunslinger fans?
We are a podcast that deals with football.
Yes, we are.
We are a podcast that deals with football in Texas. We are a podcast that deals with football in the San Antonio area.
That's right.
And specifically centered around the San Antonio Gunslingers of the American Arena League for now.
For now.
Oh, I see a comment that
And,
Michael. Go ahead. That's fine.
Go ahead. No.
Well, Michael needs my autograph, and I thought I said I don't know where we can meet or whatever, but I'll be very excited and very blessed to sign your shirt, your jersey.
Can I finish the intro now?
Yeah, you can.
Cool. Greatest thing to happen to San Antonio, to football in San Antonio ever.
Ever.
Yeah. So, that's nice. Louis Armio says, best podcast in San Antonio. I'll take it.
Oh, you're sweet.
Thanks, Louie.
I'll take it.
Thank you.
For sure. So we're going to talk about Gunslingers. We're going to talk about the AAL. We're going to talk with the architect of the defense
Okay.
for the San Antonio Gunslingers a little later
The
today.
Mastermind.
James
I like
Stoldt. We've
Mastermind.
talked about him a lot on the show. I don't
Yeah.
think we've talked to him on the show.
Not on the show. no.
So we're
Okay.
going to write that. We're going to make that. We're going to fix that. We've talked to players, some of his players.
Yep.
But first, we got to start, where we should start, and that is with the game on Monday night, not this Monday night,
Last
two
week.
Monday nights ago.
Yep.
Right. Seems like forever.
Mississippi Raiders came into the
Raiders.
San Antonio Rose Palace for the final home game of 2021.
Yes.
It was almost 2 weeks ago as we sit here now.
Right.
So what do you what sticks out to that game? What is that game now to you? Because I'll be honest, it was a win. It's a big win. All of those things, but it's kind of a run of the mill kind of thing now. Like we came in, we took care of business, we won the game.
What else is new?
That's
right?
it. Yeah.
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 Well, I will say attendance to me was very different. I know that we had partnered up with the River City Hornets, and they were doing a fundraiser, and they were selling
Right.
tickets.
Yeah.
And I definitely could see their presence there at the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And military appreciation
Yes.
night.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody say something about they didn't think there was even 1,000 people there.
Oh, no.
It was
Oh,
not
gosh.
somebody that was in the building.
Yeah, definitely
Um,
not.
I know for a fact it was somebody that wasn't in the building, and I'm like, no, there was
Quite a few people.
They had to be over 2,000.
Yeah.
They had to be
Yeah.
over
For sure.
2,000.
That's the problem with the stream, and we've noticed it's just not, the stream that we're a part of. It's most of the streams
Right.
we've seen where it's positioned normally is from the side where the major stands are, the
Right.
bigger portion of stands, meaning more of the fans, the home team side. So what you see in the perspective of the stream is not indicative of the fan attendance.
Right.
Right. And then for tailgating, of course, Chris was there with the pepper sauce. I mean, that was delicious.
Teardrop Pepper Company.
That's right. And then Coach's Corner was out there.
Yep.
And so they were passing out, I think, sausage wraps, I think it was, or
Yeah.
Burgers?
Like it.
I had a
Burgers.
great burger.
Yeah.
Burgers, yep.
And so tailgating was a little bit different. I got there a little bit later, but there was just people on point. They were going in, parking, and getting inside. You know what I mean? It was like there was a job to do, and they were going to come and they were going to cheer. Not so much tailgating, but that's okay. But I would say the parking lot was full.
We've come a long way because I walked in. I get there very early
Yes, you do.
to get everything set up and do all that kind of stuff. But, Michael Wayne Davis, we're going to discuss that whole, because I do want to talk about the USFL
Yes.
news that broke today.
Oh, yeah.
And how that might affect the Gunslingers. I've got thoughts on it. I know that you're getting some information right now from some of the team ownership, I think. I've got thoughts. I've got ideas on all of that we'll talk about in a minute. The game Where was it going with all that?
We're talking
You
about
said what did we
tailgating.
take away
Yeah.
from it?
So-
Because it was kind of like
so I get
status
there
quo.
really early.
Yeah, you do.
And this was the first time. You get better and you get better and you get better as you do things over and over. Repetition is great. Practice, that's what practice
makes
is
perfect.
all about.
Right.
This was the time I walked in as early as I get there and the field was already out.
That was awesome.
Dasher boards were already
It was
up.
out the day before.
The day before.
It was all just exactly the way it should be. And I'm like, great. Last time around, we finally figured out how to get all this done.
Hey, at least we figured
Because
it
I
out.
don't know, you guys remember the first couple of games, like they're still throwing up dasher boards and pads
Right.
at kickoff
Goal
time,
posts.
And the
and the
goalposts.
goalposts are getting,
Hung up.
strung. So that's the one thing that really sticks out to the game. The game itself was a Gunslinger win. I think we all expected it to be a Gunslinger win.
We did. Seeing what we've seen from the Raiders before, and
I mean, anybody can
Previous
step
game
up.
and watch.
Anybody can
You
surprise
never
you
know.
on any given game. But if you'd asked me at the beginning, I would have hedged my bets because that's the kind of person I am and said, well, anybody can win. But my expectation was that San Antonio, if anything, I thought we should have beat them by more than
The
we
number should have been higher, I think.
I kind of was surprised. I was the opposite, seeing how the Raiders had been competitive in some of their other games that they played. I thought maybe they kind of, along as the Gunslingers, the Gunslingers are definitely, they've improved from game to game.
Right.
For sure.
So, and when we played the Raiders, that was in their first game.
Right.
Sure.
It was their first home
Yep.
game. It was their first game,
was.
period. And I figured, just looking at some of the scores, they weren't all wins, but they were competitive for the most part. And I figured they were going to bring a little bit of a tougher challenge than they did the first time around. And the Gunslingers, I thought, beat them pretty handily. And you're right. I agree. They could have beat them even more handily. But I thought it was going to be more of a challenge. Nothing against the Raiders, but the Gunslingers are just at a different level right now.
As you listen
True.
and watch, you need to know that we are here at Leo's house, which is where we do a lot of this, and he is having some work done. So you may hear some banging. You may hear some doors opening and closing. That is stuff that has to be done. And
part of life.
our original goal for tonight was to be out at practice, which would have been a lot of other noise other than us. You don't get that because there was a little bit of rain today.
I mean,
It
Just a
rained.
little.
It rained for a
Tad.
few minutes today.
yeah.
And so we weren't able, they had to cancel practice because I don't think they had enough lifeguards. Like, I don't think there were enough
Right.
lifeguards
Not enough boats
to
to
be
get
at
there.
practice.
Right?
Yeah.
Not enough oars.
So, is what it is. But just to let you know, that's what you may be hearing in the background. We wanted to make you aware of that.
A lot of people, when I tell them about the arena football, they're like, oh, yeah, it's always high-scoring games. No, we haven't had that many high-scoring games. They're running about 20s, right?
Well, and there's reasons for that.
Okay.
Yes.
The reason for that is
We're all new to this?
no, the San Antonio
referees?
Gunslingers
Defense is
amazing.
phenomenal.
is
Yeah.
locked down, and they're
Yes.
not they're not giving up a lot of points.
Uh-huh.
And so there's no need to go out and you don't normally arena football is a track meet.
Okay.
This team scores and then that team
Yeah.
scores and it's just back and forth. It's the last person that has the ball, and if you can get a couple of possession lead, then you're good.
Right. I mean, arena league football, we're looking at a Gunslingers defense in their first year of existence. We're looking at a defense that is great. I mean, like, historically great. If you go
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
statistically, it's historically great.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's tough in this particular iteration of what football is.
Yes.
Because there's so many leagues out there. The largest leagues have run their course and gone defunct as far as the Arena League and Arena League 2. So compiling stats and figuring out where historically this defense would rank, it would be hard
It's
to do.
hard to tell, yeah.
But just with the eyeball test, this defense is a lockdown kind of defense all the way around.
Right.
And what about this? Let's say it wasn't arena football and it was regular football. How would you see the team? Would it be the same?
Hard to
Great.
say.
Okay.
Hard to say. Field is 4 times as big in regular football.
Right, and we've only seen them do
and
so
you
much.
add 3 players, but there's just so much more room.
More space, yeah.
That's the reason the running game in traditional football, outdoor football, 11-man, whatever you want to call that game, and the running game just doesn't look the same.
Okay.
It's because there's no space.
Right, there isn't.
There's nowhere to run.
Without knocking a dasher over.
Well, without running into a guy on the other team. You've cut the field in a quarter. It's a quarter of the size of a normal football field. You still have 8 players on each team, 16 players on the field instead of 22. You've decreased the space a lot more than you've decreased the amount of people. On this side of field, just if you cut the number, it's a quarter of the size of the field, basically. To do that with the team, it would have to be 4-on-4 football, but it's not that. It's 8-on-8.
Yeah.
Well,
just
right?
kind of
4? No, I'm sorry,
No,
3.
less than that.
3.
Yeah.
It would be 3-on-3 football.
I was just throwing that out there because I see
so
them
you got
as
5
really,
extra folks out there.
really good athletes, and so.
So we haven't had the huge, 75 to 72 games that you've seen in Arena League, and that the main reason for that is
our defense.
Our offense doesn't need to score 72 because 35 will win the game because our defense is a lockdown defense.
I think that says a lot about the Gunslingers this first year.
Yeah, it does. It
Plus
says a
the
lot
record,
about
plus the ability to keep the numbers low.
Yeah. Our defense, the defense is the thing that you could really hang your hat on, which is good news for anybody that's a Gunslinger fan, because anybody that's watched football for any amount of time has heard the adage, defense wins championships. And that's where we're headed.
And that's where we're at.
That's where we're going.
So what else? Anything else stand out about that particular game or the time that Mississippi stepped in? I was hoping to see more of William Richardson. I did not see him on the field very much.
No.
Right.
That's unfortunate. Guys started out with the Gunslingers, moved over to Mississippi. We've had him on the show. He's a great, gregarious. Yeah, he's a character. That's a great way to say it. And I was really hoping to see more of him. I saw him there, but I just didn't see him on the field very much.
Right. Yeah. No. The thing that stuck out the most to me, or most memorable, 2 things. One, I probably sound like a broken record, but just the opposing quarterbacks having to deal with the pass rush that we have, that defensive front. Yet another team that took a guy out, put another guy in, tried something different. That didn't work. They went back to the first guy again. It was just like, opposing coaches trying to figure out the best way to get some time for the quarterback to be effective. That's first and foremost the thing that stuck out to me. And then second, just kind of the feeling of bittersweetness where we're at the end of this thing and possibly at the end of things at the Rose Palace. Who
knows?
The barn, as people call it. I mean, we don't know where the Gunslingers will be calling home next season yet.
It may be the Rose Palace.
It could be,
but it may be better digs.
Yeah.
I think it's clear now. I don't think I'm messing with anything. I don't think I'm going to jinx us by saying it feels like we're all coming out of COVID. Things are really loosening up. Numbers are dropping. Things are getting better. So when we look toward next spring, I don't think COVID is going to be a reason that we can't get into
I don't think it's going to be
other
a factor.
places. And it changed things for several franchises this year around, and several leagues. Like there were whole leagues of indoor football that did not play on the same level that they normally do because of COVID.
Right.
And
even the
feels
teams,
like we're coming out of that.
I think so too. But it also didn't affect who we actually played this season, because I think if we didn't have COVID, weren't they trying to keep us more like not in a bubble but closer to home? And then like if with the new season, do you think we'll play other teams outside of Texas besides Mississippi?
We'll talk more about that.
That remains to be seen too, because
we'll talk more about that because there's a big part of things that will affect that. And we're going to get into all of that a little later.
Alrighty then. Well, one thing about the game, the halftime, what happened there? That was like a fiasco with the cheerleaders. They never went out. Did you see that then?
Nope.
They had some, you didn't see that?
I didn't see it.
Philip was busy working.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so
doing an interview.
Okay, so so you missed it. So the cheerleaders were all ready to come out, right? They were over there by the field goal. something was going on with the DJ, and then we had some guest cheerleaders that were supposed to come out. They were all trying to come out at the same time. The music was off. Our cheerleaders, the six-packers, not the six-packers, the six shooters.
Six shooters.
I got the number right.
Packers.
They actually kind of marched off pretty upset. Some two girls stayed up there and they were jamming out. I don't know where they were from, no introductions. So that was kind of a fiasco. But then they honored a lot of the River City Hornets. They came out there too.
Yeah, I
saw
so that
that.
was cool. And I met them a while back. So I was excited about that.
You briefly did some media for them.
I did.
some-
Very short. I did a little bit of a podcast. It was called The Swarm. My
Yep.
daughter Francesca, she was on there too. She actually did like a joke every time we came on. So that was kind of cool.
Michael Wayne Davis says, I don't mind the Rose Palace if they could construct a scoreboard and we could see an official time clock.
That's true.
Preach. Preach. Having a place with a scoreboard and a time clock, as the guy calling the game, I can't tell you how nice that would be.
Yeah. The referees were better, I thought.
They were okay.
Yeah, they didn't mingle as much as they
They
did.
They didn't become the story.
They weren't.
Right.
They weren't
and they have at
lollygaggers.
several games.
Yes.
Right.
So good on them, I guess. Thanks
Something.
for doing the bare minimum and not being the story of the game. I appreciate that.
Good job not distracting.
Good
from
job,
the game.
referees.
Yeah, good job. Like,
That way, Terry, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job to your crew, man.
referee Terry, good guy.
I like the Rose Palace. It had a unique feel to it.
It did.
It did.
It is supremely Texas football. Like,
Yes, for sure.
yeah.
there will be stories I tell when I'm old.
I can
and
hear a
sitting
song
and
coming
sitting
from
in a
there.
rocking chair to my grandkids and my great grandkids about watching football in a barn
Yes.
or in a rodeo arena, and they're going to be like, "That didn't happen."
Do you remember
Did
the
happen.
Do you remember the first game? There was poop, and I was complaining about that in the tailgate.
So there was some there this time.
I didn't see it.
It was over
not as much.
like right under where our broadcast booth is.
Oh, okay.
There was some horse poop right there.
Okay.
You got
And then-
horses, you're gonna have.
You're gonna have the poop,
Like,
right?
Horses poop.
And then we never did get the restroom porta potties, but we were allowed to come into the restroom. So
They came up with a
things worked
solution
out.
for that.
Things worked
Yeah.
out. I'm definitely gonna miss it. It
Some
definitely.
new gear at the
Yes,
game.
that's right. They were there.
Yes.
Some new hats.
Yeah,
Leo's
yeah.
wearing a hat.
Very nice.
So, the story behind this hat, we're up there.
There's always a story.
We're up there doing the stream, the broadcast,
Yep.
and I look down and I see someone I know who used to actually be with the Gunslingers during the preseason that was trying out. And I see him down there and he's talking to some of the players and on the sidelines as a fan, and he's wearing this hat, and I'm like, what is that hat? I've never seen that hat before, but I like it. So while we're doing the show, I get my phone out and I text Dolores, Lolis, everybody knows her, and I'm like, Abel is wearing a hat, black with logo.
Get it.
Go buy it, please. Before they sold out, because I had no idea. And then much to Philip's chagrin, because Lolis made it to the stand, bought the hat, and it was
Didn't just buy the hat, it was
very
the last
one. Wow.
one. So I texted her just in time.
And so I hear this.
And thank you
like,
so much, Abel, for coming over by the broadcast booth, because that gave me the opportunity to see the hat.
Excellent.
I
Thank you.
know
Thank
all
you.
of this is going on. Like I catch bits and pieces of this. I know enough to know this is going on. We had some conversations when we were running ads, some of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And and you mentioned, it was the last one, and I didn't get upset about it because I had a conversation with Adriana Garcia, Hector's wife, and she had told me these were coming, but Hector had not gotten there. This was before the game.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
She's like, "There's some
411 comes out.
there's some black camo hats," and I'm like, I'm a camo guy. Like I love camo, and I like that black camo kind of feel. And I'm like, black camo hats. I want one. Set one back. And she was like, okay, well, when Hector gets here, I'll make sure. And so when I found out you got the last one, I was like, wow.
Yeah, right.
He
Not
doesn't realize
really.
he didn't actually
Not
get
really
the last one. Because Adriana set one aside for me.
Aw,
And then I
that's sweet of
go,
her.
after we're done with the game, I go downstairs. I walk over there and I'm like, hey, you got any of the black camo hats? And they're like, nope, we sold out of them. And I'm like, right. No, I know that. I understand that. I heard that. But you have one set aside for me. And they're like, nope.
Oh, no.
And I was like, dude, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yeah. Chessa's laughing at me, but and I know other people are laughing at me too. But I was so like, I was assured in that because you were kind of like, yep, I got it. It's the last one. And I'm like, sure, yeah, last one. But it's not because I already took care of this. And then I get over there and they're like, nope, sold out of them.
Oh, no.
Sorry,
so,
man.
Adriana,
Are you trying to say I got
someone
your hat?
I'm trying to say you're wearing my hat. Right
You're
now.
wearing my hat.
That's
sorry.
the deal. No, they had that. They had some new shirts.
They did.
And what is nice about this, I don't think I'm speaking out of Adriana Garcia. Pops into the comments and just has a lot of tearful faces. I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
He's not mad.
Not mad. Everything that I've gotten to first in this whole thing, like the hat I'm wearing now is a hat no one else will ever have.
Yeah, the hat you
Plus
have
the
is
jersey.
super rare.
And I got the first jersey, and
There
so
you
like
go.
I can't be upset.
No, you cannot.
It's a joke, but it was something that I was like, if anything, it's a little bit of a humbling experience for me because I was just like, no, it's okay. I've got this all figured out. It's fine. You got the last one, sure. And then I get down there and I'm like, ha, I'm gonna get him. And
Wah, wah,
Sorry.
wah. Sorry, Philip.
they also had some shirts.
Yeah, they did.
And my understanding is that these were all products that were put together by the Gunslingers, and they're doing their own, some of their own merchandising
Production, right.
now, which is awesome.
Yes, I think that's the best way to go.
Because
when
it
you rely
means
on
so-
somebody else, things can always get screwed up. Hello.
Do it. Say it.
Yeah, Lily's comes on. She says, "Stop whining, Philip."
Uh-oh.
She's heard me whine about this for 2 weeks. To be fair, she's heard me whine about this hat now for 2 weeks.
Thank you, baby.
Get over it.
So they're doing their own stuff now. What
Yeah.
that means is, so I know that there was a big issue with this jersey
Yes.
issue, and I think I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back
Right.
because they sold jerseys, they ordered jerseys, and then when they got the first shipment of jerseys in, and I've seen pictures, they were not something they could release to fans and say, this is good stuff. They look rough, and rough doesn't even really begin to describe it.
Yeah.
They look bad. I've shown you guys the pictures that got sent to me. I'm not sending them out to everybody because there's a reason the Gunslingers didn't want them out there because they look terrible.
Is that the one where they had that little like patch over the name that was there before?
No. That's the one I have.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the one I currently have.
Okay.
This was different. It was work. Those were not bad. Like
Okay.
that was a thing that happened. They did their best to fix it. But there was these were bad. These were not something that the Gunslingers could release to fans and feel good about. So they refunded money. The way I understand it, did you get your refund
I
yet?
got my money.
I've heard several other fans say they've got their refunds. I think that was the point where some of the Gunslingers ownership said, look, we can do this better
Yes, that's true.
if we just do it ourselves. And so they've stepped into doing
merchandise
some of that,
business.
and what you're seeing there,
Hats,
the
love
hat
it.
that Leo's wearing, the shirt that had the players on it, said guns up across the back shoulders. It's
Yes.
an off-white kind of shirt. I thought it was an iron-on. I thought it was like a print and iron-on kind of deal that was sublimated. Very nice. Very nicely done.
Yeah. I think they still have some
They
left.
do.
They put a post up today that you can still order some of these if you like.
They have some of those shirts, and they have some of the, what they're calling the helmet edition of the hat. It's the white hat with the blue bill.
I got one of those
and
too.
the, well, then give me that.
No, why'd you mention that? Why did you even mention it? Now
If you
you're
get the
getting all
helmet
riled
edition,
up
then
again.
give me that
I
one.
thought you saw me
You're
wearing
gonna
the
get all
No,
riled
I knew
up.
you had it.
Oh, Lord.
I knew you had it. Go online to their Facebook page, and you can order one of those helmet edition hats or one of the shirts. I think they have stuff left over on that.
They do have
I'm
some
gonna try to still
limited quantities. Yeah.
I'm trying to get a shirt tonight.
So reach out and do that. We're going to take a break for you guys that are listening on the podcast. We'll be here with you guys that are watching live. We are on Facebook Live tonight. We do that every so often. But we're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this with more Smokin Gunz podcast. San Antonio Gunslingers football is wrapping up.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Aw.
But there's still lots of great stuff out there to watch and enjoy. Major League Baseball is in full bloom gear.
Hey, the Cubs are in first place, and the White Sox.
Nobody cares.
I do. I'm going to Chicago next week. I'm going to a Cubs game.
NBA playoffs is going on. NHL playoffs is going on. And you know what? If you want to enjoy all of those things in the best place possible, then you need to go
We know where.
hang out
Yes, for
at
sure.
JD's Bar and Grill.
That's right.
Our studio sponsor. I don't think I may have forgotten. You messed up my intro.
Oh, I
RC.
did. I'll take it.
And we may never have gotten to the fact that all of this whole podcast is brought to you by JD's Bar and Grill. They
Love
are
them.
incredible sponsor. They are at 410 the Rigsby exit,
Yep. Right in front of security service.
right over by Security Services, Federal
Credit Union.
Federal Credit
That
Union.
place too.
SSFCU.
There you go. You must bank there
Yes.
because you said that really fast.
You sure did. I would.
They're right over there. They've got drink specials. They've got
Pool
every kind.
tables.
They got pool tables. They've got
Darts.
food specials, darts, live music on the weekends. They have
You name
special
it.
events going on all the time. Great place. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not one of these places you're going to go into and feel out of place. You walk in and immediately you feel like you belong.
Right.
JD's Bar and Grill is our studio sponsor. They have been all season long.
Great support.
Anytime and every time we go somewhere, whether it is the wild, wild western side of San Antonio, back when we used to hang out at the hideout,
Right.
Yep.
Practices.
when we go to practice,
That's right.
which we were supposed to go to tonight, that didn't work out.
Didn't work out with the weather. Yeah.
And there was some rain. I don't know if anybody noticed, but it rained a little bit today.
Just a bit.
tad.
And I guess we could have taken it and headed out to JD's Bar and Grill. We're going to have to do that.
Yes.
For
Before
sure.
we finish up the season, we're going to have
That's
to
where we're
have
going to end it.
some time at JD's Bar and Grill. Go check them out on Facebook at JD's Bar and Grill. They got that margarita
Yes.
as their profile pic.
Love it.
Best way to do a bar right there is show
Yep.
them some of the drinks. And you had one of those when we
Sure
went, didn't
did.
you?
Loved it.
It's good stuff, huh?
Good stuff. No complaints.
Go
there.
check out JD's Bar and Grill, 410 at the Rigsby exit. Wear some Gunslingers gear in there so that they know that you're part of us.
That's right. That'd be nice.
Because we love them, and we want everybody to go check them out. Speaking of places we love and people we love, Chris and Sarah over at Teardrop Pepper Company were one of the first sponsors to jump on board with us.
Love them.
Yep.
Not only do they give us money to promote their product, because that's how sponsorship works.
Right.
I'm not sure I wouldn't promote their product without money.
Just
I
without-
mean,
yeah.
keep giving it to us.
Good stuff.
Because we like that.
You do.
But their product, amazing. Supreme Serrano, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's good.
Yeah, it's really good.
But then the Golden Habanero, which is
Fantastic.
amazeballs.
Yeah.
Just incredible. It goes on anything and everything. One of the best parts of tailgating at the Gunslingers game this season has been
Chris.
Having him there, yeah.
having him there so
Supporting
that
the
I
team.
can put some teardrop golden habanero on my burger or on my sausage wrap, or what else did they serve? Like they served
Turkey
all the
legs.
turkey legs,
The turkey legs.
all of the food. Having him
fun.
there so that I can put it on there. I'm gonna miss not having Chris at tailgates.
Yeah, you're just going to have to order it through the mail now.
Wait, where do I go to order it?
What?
Where do we go to order it?
Oh,
TeardropPepperCo.com.
teardroppepperco.com online. Oh, you threw me for a loop.
I
Yeah,
did. I
was like,
usually am the
what?
one that says that. Says that, and,
And
go
the
to
code is ARENA. ARENA.
ARENA. Say
10% off.
10%
Yes.
on your
10%.
order. You can also get in touch with them on all the social media: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. They are at Teardrop Pepper Co. Go order some right now. We're
sure.
gonna wait.
You won't
For
be sorry.
Father's Day. That would be an excellent gift.
Great
Genius.
Father's Day gift.
Right?
Yes.
Genius. Go order some for Father's Day.
Dad will love you.
If you order it right now, you'll
That's
have
right.
it in time.
ARENA.
Because they ship real quick. Yeah, use the offer code ARENA, save your 10%, get plenty of it because
Your dad's
it goes
going to
up.
love you.
Then put it on everything, and they'll make more. Smokin Gunz podcast, Philip Ingham, RC Woods, Leo Yamas, hanging out with each other, talking
Yes.
Gunslingers football. We talked about the Mississippi game.
We did.
We've got a game coming up in North Texas
Woohoo!
that will warrant some discussion a little
The
later.
enemy.
I need to know
And-
who's all going.
Yeah, if you're going to that game in
Let us know.
North Texas, let us know.
I'm going. Lolis is going.
I'm going.
RB is going to be there. So we got some fans, and we will be in the stands.
Another guy that's going.
So-
yeah, we'll talk about that too.
Okay.
And when you're going, are you going up Friday, Saturday, the whole weekend? You know.
Yeah, see, I'm going up on Friday, but I got family in the area, so I'm going to hang out with them. Another guy that's going to go, because he's going to be there at the game, is James Stoldt. He's the defensive coordinator for the San Antonio Gunslingers.
He better be there.
Yeah, I hope he's going. Although, to be fair,
That's true.
The
Please
last
go, James.
road game that we had, he didn't go.
That's
he was
right.
able to send his defense up, and they took care of business.
I did.
James is on the phone with us. James, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing today?
Pretty good.
You know, we're just doing our
Hanging
show.
out.
You were
Living the life.
you were hanging out with us online a second ago. Now you just get to be on the phone with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do both at the same time.
We were hoping to go out to practice tonight, but it got canceled.
Right?
That would have been fun, but player safety comes first, so
Absolutely.
we had to make that decision.
So, James, tell us how you got hooked into the Gunslingers. How did you wind up here?
Well, originally, Tony Hernandez brought me on. And he brought in myself and another man named Greg Woodard. So that's pretty much how we got in touch with the ownership and got brought on was through Tony. And unfortunately, for unseen circumstances, we no longer have Greg or Tony with us. But I'm still here and I'm still going strong.
Awesome.
So, your defense, we talked a little bit about it a second ago. Your defense is, if you could compile historically arena football stats, your defense would be one of those that people would talk about. It just, you don't allow a lot of yards. You certainly don't allow a lot of points. You've got one of those defense that just kind of locks everything down. Why? What makes your defense special? What makes your defense better than other defenses?
One of the things I do a lot with my guys is we do a lot of middle reps. And I think it's important because talent can only go so far. You know, you can run past somebody, but if you have somebody that knows how to control their speed, control their cuts, how to play that position better than the person across from them, but also understands what they're trying to do as a receiver, as an offense, it gives you that added edge. And any team we play, I look for tendencies really early on. And unfortunately, when we played the Bulls the first time, that was new for everybody, new for the defense, new for the offense, new for coaching, new for the coaches. And I was a little confused about the way things were working until I saw it. And after that, I was able to readjust things that needed to change. But we spend a lot of time going over theoretical pass concepts, formations, scheme concepts, and we build off of that. So every week, if we have an issue that happens in practice, we talk about it at the end of practice. Y'all have been there before. Mm-hmm. When practice is over, we talk for about 15 minutes after practice, and we go over what worked, what didn't work, how can we improve it, how can we fix it. So it's always a situation of we are never where we want to be at. So we continue to push where we want to be.
And so when you played football, what position did you play?
I played defensive end and tight end.
And was that at UTSA or where did you play at?
No, so I never played college football. I coached at UTSA.
Oh, okay.
I never went to college because I ended up tearing both of my ACLs when I was in high school.
Oh my.
So, yeah, my playing career pretty much ended my senior year of high school.
So coaching at the collegiate level the way you did at UTSA, going into this, a very different brand or style of football, you could call it. I mean, did you have any reservations going into that, or did you see something about the game that you thought maybe you could take it, use to your advantage, or what was your approach coming into arena style football versus what you had previous experience in?
So one thing that I learned pretty quickly on from watching arena football when Tony brought it up to me was the motion man is the most dangerous man in football. I preach it all the time to the defense. And if you can take away the motion man and if you can eliminate their deep playability, you can pretty much control the flow of the game. And so that's pretty much what we went into this whole situation doing, was the concept of let's eliminate the motion man. Let's not allow him to make 5, 6, 7 touchdowns a game. And on top of that, I mean, it's football. You know, whether you have 8 people on the field or 11 people on the field, football is football. You still have to rush the passer. You still have to stop the run. You still have to stop the pass. So the concepts don't change. Maybe the people do, but at the end of the day, it's still football. And it's all about how do you scheme to stop the offense in front of you. And that doesn't change whether it's 11-man or 8-man football.
So to eliminate that motion man, what is the single most important thing, or are there two? I mean, I would guess speed would be one of them when you're looking at your defense, but what is the key thing to doing that, if you could share that? So
for stopping the motion man, you have to have really light and quick feet. Darius, our first game, we had a rough patch. Our safety in our first game was not too light on his feet, and he was having trouble changing direction and defending those double moves. And after we made that change with Darius, it gave us that guy that could come in and out of his break quick, could stay on top, had the speed to match with somebody trying to outrun him. And so when you talk about taking away the motion man, you have to take away the deep pass. So staying on top of him, not trying to jump on double moves. Those are things that we really spend a lot of time talking about in practice. Is if they want to hit a double move, let them hit it. Don't jump the first move, because if you do that, then you're going to give up the big play. So we tend to allow some plays to develop because we know that the concept or what that team is doing is to stem our safety one side or the other so he can get leverage on him. And that's pretty much taking away that leverage when you don't jump that double move or that under route.
Now, I'm not going to ask you to play favorites when it comes to your guys. I am going to ask you, though, are there a couple of guys or maybe a guy on each level that is kind of key? Are there those guys that are just key to making this defense special? They're all good and they're all solid, but just as you move from the ball out on each level, who are those guys that really take this defense from being great and make it into a historic kind of transcendent defense?
So the D-line, we have Eric England, and Eric just creates so much havoc because he's strong, he's fast, and he's agile. So it allows us to do certain stuff with our D-line, pass rush-wise, that I think we would not have the ability to do had we not had Eric in there. If we had somebody, that's more of a prototypical nose tackle, you wouldn't get a lot of quick, agile pressure that will force that quarterback to get the ball out of his hands quickly. And then if we move back to linebackers, everybody knows who Pierre is, but I think the X factor for us at linebacker would be Cody. He's able to rush the passer. He has great IQ. When we played the Bulls, he made 2 or 3 plays on goal line that just stopped them in the tracks. So having somebody there that can dissect the play early on, especially on goal line, just makes it a lot easier for the D-line and the DBs to get to their positions and get lined up the way they need to be. And then for the DBs, Darius, the safety position, I think playing safety in arena football is the hardest job in all arena leagues. It's the hardest thing to do because you're not able to stop a man from so most of the time when you have 11-man football, you have somebody that's stationary on the line. When the ball is hiked, they run. But when you're playing safety, you got to get a dude that's already in full sprint. And to be able to stop that and play that, that's real hard. And so, having somebody like Darius back there just makes the job so much easier for the other corners because they don't have to stress about what kind of job Darius is doing. They know he's going to do his job well.
Yeah, and when you say that, I mean, you're the motion man is coming. He's got sometimes 10 to 15 yards to build up
Yeah, momentum.
his
Speed.
momentum and his speed, and you as a DB, whether you're the safety or whether you're just covering in that kind of DB cornerback sort of position, you're still kind of flat-footed as the play gets started, as the snap happens. You're not moving any direction, and he's already got that motion. So if he puts that move on you and gets you moving one direction, he's able to do a lot more than you can.
Yeah, you got to be really quick to react.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, James, I know as a team, the goal is to win. But what was your personal goal of being a coach of this team?
Realistically, when I came in, my goal was to win, but I really want to see guys that deserve a shot at the next level to make it. Mm-hmm. And I tell the defensive players all the time that I'm doing this for them. It's fun and all to coach football, but when I can see guys that I've coached go from here to the XFL or even get a shot just to go into the NFL, that's one of the most rewarding things that I can think of, because you don't coach all the time just to win games. You coach because you want to improve somebody's life, whether it be somebody that's younger than you, or be a student, a player. And so, we have a lot of players on the offense and the defensive side that just have great talent and athleticism and ball skills. And I would just love to see them move on to that next level. And that's pretty much been my goal all season, is to get these guys to a point where they get noticed and can go on and make a name for themselves. That's pretty much what my main goal has been all season.
That's great.
So how about next season? Are you already looking toward next season? Are you thinking about what this is all going to look like? I realize there's a lot of
variables
in that, but are you looking to move on and step into something bigger? Are you here to continue to build this kind of defense? What are your plans moving forward?
So, I'm pretty much locked down in San Antonio, so I'm not leaving. And I plan to stay with the organization as long as they feel that they want me to stay around. So I haven't thought so much about next season. Of course, between me and the head coach, we sometimes, make little jokes about it here and there. But right now, we're just worried about getting done with this game, and whatever happens next season, we'll deal with it when it gets to that point.
Yeah, speaking of next game, so next game coming up, we know, like we've touched on before, I mean, this is pretty much the championship game for the division. What was been talked about before, there's no, national, we'll talk about that later, national playoff to be had with the AAL this year. So this next game could very well be, the culmination of everything you guys have worked for and worked toward this season, this first season. So that said, what is the mindset from your perspective as a coach of the team, of Coach Q? What do you guys envision happening this Sunday up in North Texas?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be foolish for us not to believe that we're not going to go down there and beat the Bulls. So, first and foremost, we believe that we're going to go down there and seal up this division and get a W. But again, whether we're talking about NFL, you're talking about college, playing any team 3 times, that's difficult.
It is.
So
Yes.
we have a fight on our hands, and for us, I think the benefit of us is we don't have a lot of turnover with players. And what I mean by that is that a lot of our players have been consistent on the team. We don't just bring in new people all the time. Mm-hmm. We have a very good team of players all the way from O-linemen to quarterback to receivers to D-line. We have depth, and we don't really need to go out and grab people. We have weaknesses, and those weaknesses are going to be, people that can fill in roles. But when you look at the Bulls, they seem to just mix and match people every week. So there's a lot of chemistry issues, I think, up there where we won't have those chemistry issues when we go down. And And so I think that's where we might have that added edge, is that we're consistently consistent because we know each other. We've played with each other. We've coached all these kids. Whereas you're talking about, the Bulls, they don't really have a lot of consistency. They're switching people in and out every week.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I've picked that up, and I've even had some conversations up to the North Texas area and said, hey, why does this move around so much? Mm-hmm. They haven't given me much of an answer, and I really wouldn't expect them to, but I've noticed that they do. They seem to move things around quite a bit.
They were having tryouts like every other week or something
true.
like that,
That's
too.
true.
Yeah, so interesting.
Okay, James, I have a question, and you may or may not know this answer. So I know that if we go to the playoffs, do you think the podcasters are going to get rings too?
You really? I have no idea how to answer that question.
I'm just more of a tongue in cheek.
Hey, I'm pretty sure the ownership, the coaches, we love y'all, and we can't thank y'all enough for what y'all have done, because a lot of what we have right now is thanks to y'all jumping on board and sharing our name. And so, I wouldn't be surprised with me if y'all are able to reach out to somebody, and maybe y'all might have to buy one. I don't know, but hey,
there it is. You heard it here first. The podcasters.
I'm not making promises. I'm not making promises, but we love y'all, and all the ownership and all the coaches and all the players. We can't thank y'all enough for everything y'all have done for us.
Oh, thank you. Very sweet.
So, James, you got anything else? You got another one?
No, I was just going to say, again, what James said. There might be one guy that doesn't like us too much.
Well, there's always
going to be one.
I'm joking.
So, James, we're going to talk about this a little bit here in a few minutes on the show, and I've got some thoughts. But tell me, you've spent a life watching football. You've spent a life coaching and being around the game. Have you ever known, a league, whether it's a semi-pro, professional, pee-wee league, to not have some sort of playoff structure at the end of their
season?
That's a negative. I don't really know what he's thinking as our commissioner. But I will say this is there's always this issue of, do teams really have the finances? We don't know what all the other teams are doing.
Right.
And we've had a lot of teams, you have the Tampa Bay Tornadoes talk about, I think they folded and then came back or something like that. And then you have the El Paso situation.
Right.
It seems like there's an issue going on with Indianapolis and Western Michigan. And so, I think that might play an issue into things, is that there's a lot of uncertainty in the regards of the commissioner might just not really want to deal with all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, he's the commissioner. That's his job. And, the teams are looking for him to give them guidance, and he just kind of went MIA. So,
wow.
At the end of the day, that's his responsibility. And, of course, the people that are still here, the people that are still trying to play and want to go into the playoffs, we're wanting to go to the playoffs. You have Charlotte, you have us, you have North Texas. I'm pretty sure even Austin Wild would love to have another shot at a playoff if they could. So it's not that we don't have teams that don't want to play. It's that the commissioner has his own thing going on, and whatever it is his own decision. And we just have to go along with what we're told to do and win games and win our division, and from there we'll see what happens.
Gotcha.
And I'm sure there's talks that you are involved with that we don't know. But do you know any facts about if we had the best attendance of the different teams that were in our division?
So I don't know if I don't know who's keeping attendance, but I will say that, the Gunslinger players and us, we all have a coaches, not a coaches group, but we have a players group. So every week that we didn't have a game, we'd all post a YouTube feed to watch the Bulls and the Charlotte Thunder or the Tampa Bay and the Mid. Like, we've watched all those games. Uh-huh. The one thing I've noticed with all these teams, they don't have a lot of fans. And San Antonio, for Monday night, usually school nights, work nights, we have a lot of fans there. So I'm almost 100% certain we are blowing other fan groups out the water right now. I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good to
I
hear.
would agree.
Yeah, I know that we've only had 2 road games. The one in Mississippi, we definitely had more fans in our stands at all of our games than they were able to pull in Mississippi. And then we'll see what North Texas looks like. But based on what I've seen on the feed, they've moved to a different location
That's
now,
true, new venue.
Right.
and some of that kind of stuff. So maybe that helps, maybe that hurts. I don't know. James, it's a pleasure to talk to you. What you've done with this defense and this group of guys
Absolutely phenomenal.
has really been
Amazing.
phenomenal. And you have every reason to be proud of the defense that you put together this year for this team.
Well, thank you very much for that.
All right, well, we're going to let him go and let him go be a dad because he's a dad.
She's so cute, their baby.
A doll. So we're going to let him go and do that. We're going to take a break real quick, and when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about this playoff issue in the AAL, and then we're going to talk about this game versus North Texas. Because,
All right, sounds like a plan.
that's stuff we need to talk about and discuss. James, thanks so much
Thank you,
Thank you.
James.
for spending
Thanks,
some
James.
time with us. We'll be right back
Thank you very much.
right after this. Hey, this is normally the spot where we would jump on and say, hey, support us
Come
on
join
Patreon. You know what? We're wrapping things up. Season's coming to an end. We're going to take the summer off for sure. I have an idea that I haven't even run by you guys of maybe doing UTSA stuff and bringing things back around to do UTSA in the fall. But we hadn't even talked about that. We're definitely going to take the summer off. So normally this is the spot where I would tell you to go to www.patreon.com/SmokinGunzPod, Smokin OG, Guns with a Z,
Right.
POD, and support us on Patreon if you're able and be a part of our team. If you still want to do that, I'm not going to tell you not to.
Sure,
We would
absolutely.
love the support.
Thanks.
But at this point, things are wrapping up, and we have had a great year. We have had some amazing patrons, and we wanted to take a moment, not in their normal spot all the way at the end, but right now, and just recognize each and every one of those.
Yeah.
Starting with Iris and Mo Ferrante.
You guys
Oh,
are
very
awesome.
faithful.
Thank you so much.
Unfortunately, they weren't able to I don't think they made it out to any of the games.
But they were when we had the preseason, the drive for the was it the water?
Yep.
They were there. The fans. They were there. Yeah.
They've been a part of this all the way through, and we really appreciate everything they've done for us and being a part of the show in such a huge way. There's Herman Robles Jr.
Love him.
Thank you, Herman.
He's
Thank
been incredible. We've got Alba Nava.
Yes, super person.
Yeah, who started out as
Talk about having your hands full. Alba's been busy.
she's been
Very positive.
There's not a lot of people that have been more involved in Gunslingers world than we have been because we've been here since the start. But Alba's one of those people,
right.
Yeah.
that has been there all the way through this. Adriana Garcia, another one of those,
She
and
got
another one
married
of our
during all of
patrons. They got married. They've been, and even when they forget to set aside a black hat. There are
What?
patrons.
Oh,
and
you went
Here
one of
we
them,
go.
Adriana, no, I'm just messing with you.
Thank you, Adriana. Thank you.
We really appreciate them. Greg and Kim Nelson
Love them.
Awesome.
that have
people.
been with
They're
us
the cutest
At
couple.
all the games.
all the games.
On the dasher boards.
Yep.
Kim standing on her little pedestal
stool,
thing.
yeah.
The little step
Oh, I
stool
missed
so
that.
she could see
Oh,
over.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's incredible. All of those people are. Am I leaving anybody out?
Warren.
Warren Hubert,
Where have
Yes.
you been, Warren?
who we would not have gotten involved
True.
without him. Like
Yeah,
he's
this
the
all
one that
started
started
because of
this
Warren.
all.
Yeah.
And pulled this together, and he's been a part of things since the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like he was there at that
the
very
first
first
phone
meeting
call.
with
The
us.
first phone call.
Yeah, I got to circle back too about Herman. He was our only speak pipe.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was
that's
Season.
right.
only guy all season. There's still
Yeah.
time.
There's still time. Yes.
Jump in on SpeakPipe.
And I'll tell you, his mom makes the best cookies because
Does
I
she
bought
really?
them. Mhm.
Oh,
And then, of course, we can't forget about Humphrey Hernandez.
all the way from the islands.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? What a dedicated fan.
Yeah, and he's been he's jumped on board with us about halfway through the season.
And he stayed.
and he stayed, and he's been a part of this. We couldn't do it without him either.
Thank you.
Aloha.
So we thank them. If you want to be a part of the team, we're not going to stop you. Like, we're going to tell you not to. But at this point, doesn't make a lot of sense. So save your money. Jump on with us next season.
Yes.
Yeah.
And be a part of the team.
And bring a friend.
And maybe we'll have even more cool
stuff.
patron-only stuff that we do next season.
Patron party.
Ooh, I could do that.
Yeah. Smokin Gunz podcast. Philip Ingham, R.C. Woods, Leo Yamas, sitting around on the wild western side of San Antonio, chatting about the Gunslingers. You just got to hear from James Stoldt, the architect.
The mastermind.
I love that. Mastermind is perfect behind this defense. You learned anything there, Leo? You talking to James? You talked to James a lot. You probably heard a lot of that already.
I've talked to him a bit and behind the scenes. Yeah. It's the biggest difference of arena football from traditional football, other than the size of the field, is that motion receiver, that motion guy. That is to supply the big advantage to the offense. So that's obviously going to be what the defense is going to really have to key on.
And I'll be honest, I'm surprised the NFL has not moved to do it, because it is something that helps the offense. And the NFL is all about anything that helps offenses perform at a higher level.
That is true.
They care nothing about defense in the NFL.
I think a lot of people would be upset if they did that, though. But
they do it in the Canadian Football League. It does add an interesting wrinkle to the game in the CFL. They do have that one player in motion toward the line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
look, Philip, I was right. It's international arena football.
You were right. I see that.
I got 1 point.
For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, because you're listening to the podcast, we were having some conversation off the podcast or off the air, if you can call it that, about playoffs and if we had ever seen anything like not having a playoff structure. Coach Q said he had seen it once when he is in the IAFL, and I just asked what that was. It was the International Arena Football League.
Indoor, so I was
right.
I
said indoor.
Oh, okay. Who said?
So I was wrong. Philip didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But you know everything.
Because I already knew. I didn't say everything. I said I know almost everything.
But you didn't say international. I said it, just so you know. So the fans know I got 1 point. Right. Give me a check.
So this week, in just a couple of days, actually, we're recording on Thursday, come out on Friday. So just about 3 or 4 days from now, the Gunslingers travel up to North Texas.
Yes.
To take on the North Texas
enemy.
Bulls.
Woo-hoo!
The enemy.
The slaughter.
And it turns out that game will be for all of the marbles that are on the table.
All the chips?
All the marbles.
Which, if that seems odd to you, I think it is. The American Arena League has decided, and I'm going to report this the way they put it out there. The owners of the American Arena League, according to the league, made the decision that they would follow a pattern put in place by minor league baseball, and that each division would have a champion of the division, but there would be no playoff structure beyond that.
Ha!
Wah, wah.
I say ha because
bogus.
Most of what we've heard from ownership on social media and people that we know say, well, I wasn't involved in this decision.
No one asked me.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't spoke to every owner in the Arena
of course
League,
not.
the American Arena League.
Just the ones that weren't involved. Apparently.
I have spoken to enough to say there was no ability to have a vote.
Oh.
I have gotten enough information. Either I've gotten it or I've got it secondhand from other people that have had conversations with owners to believe that it would be not possible for them to have a realistic vote on that kind of issue as a league. So the owners made that decision does not seem to be the case. It seems the league made that decision.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
And who's the commissioner?
His name's Tony.
Just Tony.
I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
Because it's the league. I I'm not worried about who that guy is, but
Okay.
there's a league here that we do business with,
Okay.
and they made this decision, or this decision was made.
Tony the Tiger.
The
Tony the Tiger.
Tony the Liger, because he lied.
The other thing that I have a real issue with is that he attributes that to
Attendance?
no.
Okay.
He says we're going to follow the same sort of system that minor league baseball has.
Isn't that a different sport?
It is, but that's beside the point. To take
Yeah.
something that somebody does in another sport and say, "Hey, we should do that here because it works there," is not a bad idea.
Okay.
But does it work there? Is it apples to apples?
So how many minor league teams are there?
I mean, they cut it in this last year, so I can't give you a number, but there's over 100.
Yeah. So
We only have like
it's
what, 6?
obvious that they have to divide it up somehow. They can't
Right,
do
'cause
it.
there's
Yeah.
And
so
they're on
many
different
teams.
levels.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a different criteria.
So the San Antonio Missions are part of the Texas League in Double-A ball, or at least that used to be the case. There's
Right.
been some. So you win your league, but your league does not have it's not your division; it's your league.
Right.
Your league does not have 4 teams in it, or maybe 6. I think is the largest division. So this idea that they are following a structure that somebody else already has out there doesn't wash.
No.
You're talking about a much bigger system
Right.
that has to do something like that.
because of the numbers.
Yeah. So this idea that they are just taking a system that works somewhere else and applying it to here, even if that's the case,
Something stinks.
even
I'm
if
giving it a
that's the
thumbs
case,
down. 2 thumbs down.
I want to be very, very clear. What I'm going to say over the next few minutes is my opinion.
Do it.
It
Not
is
mine?
not the opinion of the San Antonio Gunslingers. It is not the opinion of any of the ownership there.
Mm-hmm.
It is the opinion of Philip Higginbotham, and that's it.
Go for it.
Understood. Do it.
If you purport to be a professional league in a sport, if you take people's money and say, we are a league that you can trust in, believe in, expect, and you decide 3 weeks before the end of your season that you're not going to provide any sort of playoff structure, get out. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with your league. I've been on the fence, and I don't know if I've said this on the show. I have been on the fence with this league, and from this point forward, when you hear me say league,
There's air
you're going to
quotes.
hear air quotes, and you're going to see air quotes if you're watching online. I don't think this is a league. I think this is a cash grab. I think that organizations contact this league, and they find out that they can pay a certain amount of money and they can be part of a league, and that money is deposited, and then there's not much that goes on beyond that. I've seen one suspension. It was against one of our players.
Of course.
I
Which we talked about.
I have seen officials that have not been well prepared. They've been given a rule book,
Right.
but I can go write a rule book. I can go, Google rules for arena football and get the Wikipedia page and write up a rule book. I can do that.
Yep.
I can take people's money and call things a league, and there's nothing that has happened in this league that I believe we could not have done right here in San Antonio.
Yeah. I agree.
I see it as your job as a league to make something happen for a championship structure, a playoff structure. I've not seen in any sport I've ever watched, and certainly not in football, a league decide 3 weeks before the end that we're just going to name 3 champions and everybody should be happy with that.
Right.
horrible.
No, I mean, you're right. That should be part of the agreement. That should be part of your responsibility as the league to make sure that happens. Make sure things are in place. And I know the excuses about costs and, COVID's still going on and stuff like that, but you had lots of time to prepare.
Nothing is getting shut down outside of LA and New York over COVID anymore.
Right.
That's not a thing.
Especially not in
and there's no
Texas.
teams there, so.
Yeah.
Right. So that's not a thing. Like, you can't blame COVID.
People still try to lean on that,
You
though.
can't blame COVID.
No, you can't.
Like, that's not a thing. As far as travel costs, I realize that that's expensive. You said something earlier about us being kind of dealing with certain group of teams, kind of a bubble sort of structure.
Yeah.
And that's all fine. But at some point, you knew as a league that there would be a need for teams to travel beyond that. And you know that those teams are struggling financially or right on the edge financially. So my thought would be, as a league, you would go out and sell your championship game to some sort of sponsor.
Right.
That's your job.
Right.
Make it happen. The NFL sells ads.
True.
They sell the naming rights.
We sell
They
ads.
do whatever it takes
True.
to put money in the pockets so that they can cover those kind of things. That's your job as a league.
Yeah.
Your job is not to say, we'll take your money, we'll allow you to set up your schedule, which it feels like is all that really happened for everybody. I don't feel like the league handed any team a schedule so much as teams developed their own schedule. And the reason I say that is because teams were playing teams outside of the league.
That's true.
Well, look, here's what I'm getting down to. The American Arena League is a joke. Again, this is my opinion. It's not the opinion of the team.
Based on your experience now. Yeah.
The American Arena League is a joke. And I'm not going to be involved with it anymore. So if the San Antonio Gunslingers decide next year that they will be an American Arena League team, the Smokin Gunz podcast may go on.
Okay.
You guys may have a blast. I will not be involved.
I doubt that. You're gonna leave us?
I would.
I don't think that's going to happen.
You're not gonna
I
leave
don't
us.
think the Gunslingers are going to remain with the AL. So
Well, I don't know that.
we don't know that, but
I think they're as upset as I am right now.
yeah, they are.
I'm sure.
I think they're as frustrated as all of us here in San Antonio
And
that
they
thought we were going to
Yeah. The playoffs, like I mentioned.
something real.
Right, of course.
And so I get the sense that they're just as done as we are, or as I am. But I'll tell you that I'm out. I'm done.
I don't believe it.
I do. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I
And what
wasn't
other-
prepared to make a declaration
Sure.
like that. At
And I
this
don't expect
point
you to.
on
I'm
the
not
show.
asking
no,
you
no,
to.
I
I'm
know
telling
that.
you I am.
But I'm saying I could understand why you would say that, why you would say that now and on the show and recording, and why you would feel that way. Because honestly, I feel the same way. I've just haven't gotten to that point yet where I'm ready to just say that out loud. We still have a game to play. We still,
We
you
do.
know, there's still stuff
And I'm excited
left
about that game.
that I've focused
I'm
on, and
very
I
excited
haven't
about that.
thought that far ahead. But if in a month or 2 months, we were to hear from ownership and they would say, well, the AL made these kind of promises, this, that, and I would kind of sit back and think to myself and go, are we really going to do this again?
Right.
And yeah, I'd probably have a mental conversation, much like it's obvious you've already had with yourself.
I have.
I'd have that same conversation.
Bonnie jumps in and
Oh,
says
no.
we were bamboozled. And she's
Yeah.
right.
That's
Yes.
true.
We really
That's
were.
true.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it, you two have invested so much more of your time than I have. I just do it for the fun, meeting the fans, doing the mom thing, and I do it for the players because I feel like I can't coach them. I can't tell them what play to do. I can't even tell them what sit up to do. But the least I could do is promote them as a team.
Are there different kinds of setups?
There might be. I don't know. Don't ask me.
I certainly
And
don't
so,
know.
like,
But you can tell that if you're watching on
when
Facebook
James
Live.
had said that one of his goals was to, see what other level or higher level that some of these players could go to. That's why I do it. And I'm sure that professionalism is not equal across the board. You can ask the different ownerships compared what they've done to other teams. And it's going to be different,
Right.
And as the goal of a team is to win, But our goal as a fan is to go to the championship. I mean, that's our goal. That's what we're going into every game because we want that. And to say that now we don't have that, I can see how Coco feels bamboozled.
So
You know
here's
what I mean?
here's the deal. We're going to get to this game in a minute because I think it's important for us to talk about this game because this game is the culmination of the season.
The whole season.
So
Yeah,
this
everything.
is like our playoff?
This is
This
our
is the
championship.
championship.
This is
This
as
is our
far as we
championship.
can go.
Okay.
And we hope to win that game, and I'm excited about that game. I'm going to go watch that game. I'm driving up to that
It's
game.
the first game you're going to watch. and
Yeah,
not-
I
You're
get
not
to
going to
sit.
play the "You Suck" song, though, right?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
So now, if we win the game,
No, you have to play. We
That's different.
are the champions.
but I'm going to have a great time.
Enjoy yourself.
But past that, I'm done with the AAL.
Okay.
I just don't want anything to do
Can we
with
make
it
a bet on that?
because I feel, yeah, sure.
How much you want to lose?
I'm not going to lose a dime
Okay.
because I'm not going to be involved with the AAL anymore. And it would break my heart because I enjoy the guys, the team that
know
we,
you do.
the players that we get to spend time with,
The friendships.
the friendships and the fans that we've spent time around. Doing this is one of the joys and something I really enjoy. Calling the
Yeah.
games is something that I really, really enjoy. So if the team were to say, hey, we're going to give this one more shot, and I had to step away from that, that'd be a bummer. I would be really, really frustrated with that.
Yep, I believe that.
But here's the deal. If we win this game, if we go out and we dominate the Bulls, and we get to say we're champions of the AAL West, you know what that means? It means we were the best team of 3 teams. Because that's all the AAL West is.
Right.
There's the Austin Wild. There's the North Texas Bulls. There's the San Antonio Gunslingers.
That's right.
That's no fault of the Gunslingers.
Nope.
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 No
Yeah.
fault of the ownerships.
That's no fault of the ownership of the Gunslingers. Has nothing to do with anything they did or didn't do. It is what it is.
They were bamboozled with us.
Allen
Yeah,
was
of
supposed to
course.
be there.
Yeah.
That didn't work out. West Texas was supposed to be part of this. That didn't work out.
Right.
But at the end of the day, when we get to say we were champions in our first season, which I hope happens, it means we were the champion of 3 teams. We were the best
Yeah.
of 3 teams.
Thanks to the AAL commissioner.
And unfortunately, there's another team out there. And look, there's a team out there that's undefeated right now.
Yeah.
The Charlotte Thunder.
Right.
And they put up huge points. I don't think they played anybody near as good
No.
as North Texas
Not
or San
talent,
Antonio.
yeah.
No, they haven't.
So I mean, I think that we could take them.
Of
I want to
course.
see. That's the deal. I
Yeah.
want to see how would Charlotte run us out of the at 76-17 like they've done some
No,
other people.
no.
Maybe I don't know.
I don't think so.
But I'll never know, and
yeah.
that's what bothers me.
Yes.
And that's what's going to frustrate me for the rest of my life. And I'm not going to sign up for a second year of getting that frustrated. Like I've had conversations with you. I've had conversations with the ownership of the team. I've been frustrated with a lot of things around this league
Yes.
from almost the beginning, but this was the straw that kind of broke the camel's back where I said, look, if they're involved with this again this year, it would break my heart, but I'm not doing it again. I'm not getting this amped up about something to go, woo, we're the best of 3 or 2 or 4 teams. I want to know where we
You're
line
very
up.
competitive, so I can see that.
That being said, how come the commissioner didn't make this known in the beginning, Bonnie says, and
'Cause I don't
that's a
think he knew.
huge
I
part
don't
of
think
this.
he knew what he
No.
was doing.
If I'd have known at the beginning that this was the deal, okay, that's on me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
it's
you
true.
knew from the beginning.
Right.
But yeah.
But to say it 3 weeks before the end of the regular season, which turns out to be the end of the season,
Right.
boo.
Big
good.
boo-boo.
Boo.
I'm with you. I understand completely.
So all of that being said, I will tell you that I'm not the only one frustrated.
No.
I will tell you that
Many are.
I expect to be around the Gunslingers organization next year. That's all I'm going to say. That's as far as I'm going to go. I expect to be around, but if the AAL is still around, I won't be. I just can't. I can't set myself up for that 2 years in a row.
Well, just know that you're not the only one that feels that way. We
Oh,
all
I
feel
know.
That. We
No,
all
I
feel
know.
that. There's a lot of us.
No,
a
for
lot
sure,
of
I know.
fans, a lot of players, a lot of moms. I can tell you that. You
Right.
know, I hear it.
So North Texas, We're going up there, North Richland Hills. It's at NYTEX. I'm going with NYTEX because that's what I've heard Grayson and some of those folks.
NYTEX.
Yeah. It's at the NYTEX Sports Center in North Richland Hills. It's only about a 5.5 hour drive from San Antonio. Only? Mm-hmm. That's not bad.
No, I'm not. I just said only.
That's not a day trip, right?
Yeah. It's better than El Paso or Mississippi.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hattiesburg was a lot
Way
further.
better.
So that game is coming up on Sunday. 3:30.
3:30 kickoff.
Although, did you see this?
No.
North Texas today said 4 o'clock kickoff.
Oh, Lord.
On their Facebook page.
Did they move it to
That's
4?
just 30 minutes.
I don't know.
It's 30 minutes.
Yeah, but 30 minutes means a lot.
I know it went
when
from
you
the
have
5th
drive
to the
back
6th.
5.5 hours.
Yeah, that's true. And then it went from the 5th to the 6th and then different times. So
Yeah.
There was a lot of confusion there.
It is on the 6th. It is at 3:30 or 4.
Or 4.
Which is not a huge difference. But,
It's not, but yeah.
and here's what you need to know. If you're going out to the game, it is not at the Fort Worth Convention Center, and it is not on Saturday at 7.
Not on Saturday.
And you may have seen that information. So if you're planning on driving out there, know that it is in North Richland Hills at NYTEX at 3:30.
Or 4.
Or 4. But get there at 3:30, and that way you'll be able to see it.
And we don't know if there's tailgating?
We have no idea.
We have no idea about the tailgating. We'll see if we can find something out.
Parking.
Yeah.
I don't know what the parking situation is like at NYTEX.
Looking at it on Google Maps, it looks like they have a substantial parking area,
Right.
which would facilitate tailgating if they allow it, but I don't know that they do.
Right.
But
No
it seems like they've got plenty of parking. I'd like to know who else is going. We've already asked earlier in the show, but yeah, if you are, shoot us a note. I think Greg had talked about it a while back, Greg Nelson, that he was going to go. I don't know if he still plans to. I think he's watching right now, so let us
I
know.
saw him earlier. Now, can you buy tickets there, or is that something we don't know either? Like,
I
would assume if you walk up and have money in your hand, they're going to let you in to watch the football game.
I might get a crazy hair,
That's an
and
assumption?
say, hey.
I saw someone say that they didn't even see where they could buy tickets online,
Right,
but
I
I
did
didn't
see
go
that.
You can.
double check that.
Oh.
You
So-
can go to just Google North Texas Bulls, go to their page.
Okay.
You can buy tickets on their page. I've taken a look. General admission is $15. The bullpen, and let me stop for a second and say something about the bullpen being what they call their dasher board seat. That's genius. Like, I'm going to say lots of mean stuff about the Bulls in a second because I'm going to amp everybody up and I'm excited about fighting them. But, Greg Nelson says he can't travel for Sunday's game.
Oh, no.
Boo. That is a big boo.
Boo.
So
Wow,
let
that's a
me
big
say
boo.
something nice about the Bulls
Okay, say
before we
something
get
nice.
Okay.
calling your dasher board seats the bullpen.
I do
is
like that.
absolute genius. That
I
is
do like
great.
it. I like it.
That is really, really great.
Good marketing.
It would be really cool if they had real dasher boards.
Okay, well, that is what it
again
is.
with the blow up ones.
Leo doesn't like the inflatables. I'm kind of out on it the more and more I think about it, but
There you go, the inflatable.
Inflatable.
I get it. I see what you did there. But calling that area the bullpen is genius.
Yeah, good marketing.
Bullpen seats are $29.
29.
So it's almost double what it is to sit in the general admission. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sitting in general admission.
Yeah.
29 versus 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think general admission. Plus,
Yeah.
Okay.
Me and my dad are going, so I got to buy 2. If I was just buying one seat, maybe I'd pay the extra to be down on the floor level. But I think I'm just going to go with general admission. We'll sit in a seat.
Yeah.
We'll have a chair
Is it just
available for us.
sitting down at the floor level and having a table,
I have
or does
no
that
idea.
come with
It
like
doesn't.
drinks or something?
They don't say. They just call it the bullpen area, and it's $29. So I think we're going to get general admission. If you're staying back here in San Antonio to watch the game, Greg Nelson,
Come watch
and
with me. I don't know
the
where we're going
like,
to hang out, but somewhere.
here's what you need to know about that. Liam and I have not watched a Gunslingers game in the
Live.
fan seats at all. We are working those whole games.
Not a one.
And we are not able to, let's call it, enjoy the game. I have a blast doing the game, calling the game. I think Leo does too. But it's a different kind of I enjoy.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a different
And so we're
experience.
going to enjoy this game. North Texas provides their own feed, so we would have been doing double the work anyway to provide a Gunslingers feed. So you will not be able to find it on the Gunslingers Game Day channel. That will not be live and active. However, Grayson Nolet is going to provide the game, and the North Texas Bulls are going to provide the game. It's going to be on their YouTube channel. They're always super easy to find. I've never had any struggle or trouble finding their feed to watch any of their games. So when you go to YouTube, when you go to Facebook to watch the game on Sunday, don't look for us. That's not what's happening.
Okay.
Go look for the North Texas Bulls feed and listen to Grayson and his partner. He added him halfway through the season, so I don't remember his name. But listen for them. They're going to bring you the game, and I'm going to sit at the game and watch.
You guys really do need to enjoy the game.
Do
you want to take my cowbell?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure?
I'm good.
How about my tambourine? Someone lost my tambourine.
I'm absolutely
my pom-poms, they're all gone because I left them in the office.
Well, it is what it is.
I think it has something to do with that.
I might have.
I think you have.
So we are going to get sit and watch the game for the first time this season. We decided since it's the final game, this was our last chance to do that. And since it was something that was already going to get covered, there's no reason to double up, and we can enjoy the game. So we're going to do that.
And take your yellow rags.
Yeah. I mean, bring them. I don't know that I even have one.
Oh, I think I might have one in the car.
I got one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get them at Walmart.
So that is what you need to know about watching the game there and watching the game here in San Antonio. Now, let's talk about the game itself.
Okay.
Because the first game was what was it? 3 possession. It was 64-48.
Yeah,
was the final
right.
score.
Yeah.
It was a 16-point win for the North Texas Bulls.
The
Right.
enemy.
That was the first game we lost.
Yes.
The only game we lost.
The next game, both of them being in the Rose Palace. The next game was the 23-22
Yes.
game.
A fantastic finish.
Yep.
Each team has lost one game. It has been to each other.
Yep.
Wow.
What are you expecting to see on Sunday at the NYTEX Center there in North Richland Hills with everything that's on the line? Everybody knows that this is it.
This is it.
This is all or nothing. What are you expecting to see?
Two teams that want to beat the crap out of each other. To be honest,
very physical game.
I honestly think, both these teams are going to go in there knowing that this is the culmination of all of their work. This is for, as far as they're going to be able to go make a statement. I'm sure they want to make a statement to that other team you mentioned, Charlotte, and put what they are as a team on display for everyone else to see and realize and wonder, what if Charlotte was, had been able to play the Gunslingers? What if Charlotte had been able to play the North Texas Bulls? There's a lot of pride and a lot that went into this season by these guys. We saw how hard they worked, and they know this is going to be. This is it.
This is it.
This
might
is
be
it.
the last game
This is
for the season.
This is all of that summed up in one moment, and both teams' only stumble was to each other. I think these teams respect each other. I think there's a lot of mutual respect between the two of them, but I also think there is that rivalry that's been established since the beginning, that sincere desire to better the other team. I honestly think that both these teams are going to give it everything they've got in this game.
And then some.
So I've been interested. We talked before the season even started about this being the rivalry.
True.
And it has been that and more.
Most
I
definitely.
don't think I could be wrong. I think both teams have kept an eye on each other all season long.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yes.
I don't think either team has at any point been like, we don't care what they do.
Oh, no, they're watching us.
I think both teams, both
I think they watch
Gunslingers fans, coaches,
Yes, everybody.
I think we've all kept an eye on North Texas, and I think North Texas has kept an eye on San Antonio because I think it's kind of been clear since the beginning
Most
that
definitely.
these two teams
are two of the best.
are the cream of the Western crop. And that's not anything against Austin.
No.
And that's nothing against Mississippi.
Nope.
Or the North Texas Bobcats that North Texas played. Any of those other kind of teams. It's just they're there are teams that play at a higher level.
Yes.
And
The
these
quality
two
of the
teams have
players.
kind of showed that they play at a higher level than those other teams. Austin never got things figured out as well as I think they could have. I think they are a better football team than they were ever able to put on the field.
I think they get their emotions a little bit out of whack.
And Mississippi, I really like that organization.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Both times I've dealt with them, I've just been very impressed
Very respectful.
with that organization. So there's not anything to say about either. West Texas, we can't say anything about because we never saw them. We saw them play Austin, and I was not impressed with what I saw. The little bit that I saw.
Yeah.
So these two teams have kind of kept, I feel like have kept an eye on each other all year.
For sure.
So if it has to be a truncated season and if we don't get playoffs, I'm so glad that this is the way
to
it's
finish
wrap up.
it. Yeah. And one thing that I find so interesting about this is if you look at these teams and examine these teams, they are like puzzle pieces. They are polar opposites of each other where, okay, so you take the North Texas Bulls. They've got a lot of guys on that team. That's what they touted at the beginning with, especially their quarterback, tons of experience in arena football, lots of
Two guys
stuff
on their,
under the belt.
Two
Yeah.
guys on their defensive line are former NFL guys.
Yes. Yeah. Meanwhile, you have the Gunslingers coming across with tons of talent, but when you look at experience and the resumes of these guys before this season, not at the same level as North Texas.
Right.
The
You have a lot of
opposite.
young guys.
Then you look at the way the teams play. So obviously the North Texas Bulls lean on that offense, that high-powered offense. You could call it elite. And then you have a defense that is very, very good, could possibly, reach that elite level, but it's very, very good.
Right.
You look at the Gunslingers, just flip-flop that. You have the elite defense that they've proven throughout this season, and then they have the offense that is very, very good. Has the potential to reach that next level and be elite level, but just hasn't quite reached that level yet. And it's just like complete opposites where you take the two teams and you fit them together like a puzzle piece, and it's just,
It comes
two teams
together for an
colliding.
awesome game. That's what it
It's
is.
going to be spectacular.
I will take that a step further and say there's another mirror I see in these two teams, and it's the reason I think the San Antonio Gunslingers are going to win.
Okay.
That is that the North Texas Bulls started out incredibly strong and have kind of come back down to earth.
Yep.
Whereas the Gunslingers
We've gone
started
up.
out stumbling a little bit and trying to find their footing, and they have consistently gotten better as the years gone on.
Definitely come together as a team.
Very true.
And I see that as a mirror too, because you go back to that first game. Look, we said what we said. It was a weird game. Everything that was wrong, everything that was weird, from the turf all the way up
to the ceiling.
we said what we said during that game, and I stand by anything I said there. But to be really honest, when at the end of that game, I was like, man, this is not what I expected at all. I thought we were a better football team. It wasn't, wow, North Texas was really great. It was, I thought we were better. We've gotten better. We've gotten to that. On the other side of that, I've watched North Texas
kind of fall apart.
Not necessarily fall apart, just kind of come back to the crowd.
Though. Yeah.
They haven't been. And I thought James Stoldt brought up a great point in that they've had a lot of turnover, moving players around, trying to find the right guys. It's funny that they started out as good as they did, scoring 60 points in their first two games, and still kept toying and tricking out things. And I'm like, why? You're doing so well. Why do you keep having tryouts? I had somebody in their organization reach out to me and go, man, we change players every week at practice. And I'm like, why?
Why would you do that? Yeah.
Why are you doing that? And they're like, we're looking for the right thing. And I'm like,
yeah, but you're passing it up.
Something figured out.
Yeah.
Adam Hernandez says the Rose Palace was nice, but we need to be more toward the center of San Antonio so we can have fans from the east side, south side, west side attend more games.
Well, we were going to have that at the Joe Freeman originally, but things just didn't
if that had worked out, if the Freeman Center had worked out,
perfect.
Freeman Coliseum, that is
centrally located.
That's out there. The Rose Palace is a lot of fun.
It is, yeah,
But we'd be lying. I think anybody that would tell you, we'd be lying to say it's ideal.
no, yeah, no, of course not.
There are better places to do what this is set up to do. It's not set up to host a can and has.
We made it work.
Hosted games. It is not set up to host football games.
Right.
That's okay. It's a really neat facility. I am going to look back at this season and go, that was really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was.
And if we wind up there next year, I'm not going to cry about it. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be super upset. But I think there are other options, and I think that there will be opportunities to maybe move in more towards the center of town.
And I hope
Yeah,
Andy
we
comes
know-
back too.
We know that ownership is looking at options for sure. Already have started.
As
to.
they should
So,
be.
yeah.
I mean, it was fun,
It was fun.
Yeah.
but not ideal.
No.
And that's just, it is what it is. I expect the Gunslingers to win, provided the defense plays like it has played,
Yep.
and the offense,
We can't turn the ball over.
we cannot
That's the
turn the
key.
ball.
Can't
over.
get interceptions.
That's the key. We can't turn the ball over. If they don't turn the ball over, they've got a really good chance at
Yes.
success.
Now, in the last game we played against Mississippi, there were 3 interceptions, and I've
Yeah.
said several times that I don't count those interceptions against David at
Two
all.
of them were not.
Two of them.
on the
One of them
quarterback.
was, but hey, they ain't nothing in my life I've ever done perfect either. So
Yeah.
one of them was behind his receiver in the end zone. Those things happen. The defender happened to be in the right spot, and it went right to him. It happens. It is what it is. Nobody does everything perfect. On the flip side of that, there were 2 other interceptions. I don't blame David for it all. He hit his receivers in the hands. And when you hit your receivers in the hands,
They should catch it.
it should be one of 2 things. It should either be incomplete, and I should be upset with you, or it should be complete, and we should be moving forward, and we're all happy.
Yeah.
But it should never be an interception if I hit you in the hands. And everybody knows around football that if you can't bring that ball in, it needs to go down, not up.
Right.
If it goes up, all kinds of weird things can happen, and that just happened to happen to those guys twice. Is what it is. We cannot turn the ball over the way that we did against Mississippi and expect to win against North Texas.
That's
It's just
right.
not going to happen. But provided those 2 things, the defense plays like it played, and the offense doesn't turn over the ball, I like our chances.
For sure.
I mean, I like our chances to come home with that storied championship trophy.
The ring.
The rings. I don't know. Do you do rings for
I'm getting a ring.
division
know.
championship?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But-
Do we
either.
get a T-shirt, a hat? What do we get?
I don't know.
We'll see.
Lorenzo says turnover on downs hurt us more than turnovers.
Well, it's a turnover. It results in the same thing,
I get that.
but I guess what hurts more on turnover downs is you had 4 opportunities to get that first down and couldn't get it done, where a turnover could happen on first down. I could see how that hurts.
Yeah, but I feel like
But
we're gonna force as many of those as we're gonna give up. So those
we
are
are going
wash
to force.
to me.
Yeah, I mean, the Gunslingers, they have to lead the league in that category.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I realize that you don't ever want to. You want to get points, and we did. We scored points on the first 3 offensive possessions, and that's what you want to do. But as far as turnovers on downs, no, I don't ever want to have any of them. But I'm not gonna be stressed out about them as much as long as the defense is doing their jobs and forcing as many of those as we're giving up.
That was a good point, though. Thanks for interacting, though, Lorenzo.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. So,
I think it's just y'all going to the game because apparently no one has
yeah.
responded.
I mean, nobody else.
RB's going.
Okay, that's 3 of y'all.
Oh, there you go.
And Lolies.
Okay, 4.
There you go.
And your dad, 5.
Yeah, my pop's going. But he lives up there. He
Oh.
might even be a North Texas fan. I don't know.
No.
No. I don't.
I was like, what?
So, I expect to see the Gunslingers win, yeah?
For sure.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah, of
very
course.
physical game. It's going to be low scoring, and we're going to be on top.
Yep.
Do you think it's going to be in the same areas like the 20s, or you think this is going to be higher?
Let's make a prediction.
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to jump out there. We'll be there in spirit. Kim Nelson says, "Man, I wish you were going to be there, like there."
We get it, though.
We get it.
It is what it is.
We'll all party together. I don't know where, but we're going to figure something out.
We'll have a drink for y'all.
We'll be drinking somewhere.
I think, based on the fact that the Gunslingers have been coming up and the Bulls have been going down,
Yep.
I think the Gunslingers blow them out.
You're
By how many
calling a
points?
blowout.
Dang.
I think the Gunslingers are going to blow them out.
Wow.
Give me some numbers. Back it up.
I think we're talking at least as many points as they were beaten by in the first game, which was 16. I think that the Gunslingers will win the game by 16 or
points.
more.
Okay.
Wow. Bold.
I believe in this defense. I see enough talent on the offense that I believe that they are capable of doing that. I don't see any reason the Gunslingers couldn't blow them out.
Okay.
Sounds good. You heard it here.
So don't turn me into a liar. No, it's go out there and play a game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have fun.
Do what you're capable of doing, and there's no reason you can't do that. And
For sure you can.
I've watched the North Texas Bulls, try to find the right combination and slowly just decline. So what I saw is a team that beat the Gunslingers by 16. Then I saw it become a wash. A 1-point victory is a toss-up.
Right.
So now I'm sticking with this mirrored philosophy of one going one way and one going the other, and I think that we win by 16 or more.
There you go. Gunslingers 16 or more blowout, or Philip kills a bunny.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not doing
Why are
that.
you going to kill a bunny?
I'm not doing that. I'm just saying.
I thought you were trying to put pressure on him.
No.
I thought that was your strategy here.
How about if they lose, you'll shave off your beard?
That's not happening. That's not happening. My wife put you up to that?
No, not at all. It's our secret.
No. That would be my... And I know it sounds like... I know it sounds like Homerism, and maybe it is. I don't know. But honestly, that is me as a football guy looking at these two teams and their trajectories and going, there's no
It could
reason that
happen.
can't happen.
It could happen.
That
So
could
I'm
happen.
going to call it that way.
Call it.
Hey, I'm like a weatherman. I can be wrong, and nobody will notice. Like y'all will give me a hard time for a week. Look, here's the deal: if I'm wrong and we end up losing by 16, y'all are going to be so upset. You're not going to remember that I called it that way anyway.
It's the last game anyway. And then are we going to come and do a podcast after the game?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
Oh
got
my
at least one more
gosh.
show.
We got
I say
one
two more
We
shows.
got at least one more.
We have to wrap it up with the party, with the tailgate.
But yeah, I'm calling it. It's going to be a block. A hard fought one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not going to be easy. That's not my expectation at all. And if anybody hears me say, "Oh, we're gonna walk in and mop the floor," that's not what I said. It's not going to be easy, but I think in the end, the Gunslingers are a better team than North Texas.
I like that.
I'll
did
agree
not.
with.
It did not start out that way, but at this point,
That's where we're at now.
the Gunslingers have gotten to their 6-1 record one way, and you've brought this up more than anybody, Leo. The Gunslingers have gotten to 6-1 one way. North Texas has gotten there a different way.
Yeah.
That's true.
And when there's a team that puts pressure on North Texas, they have a tendency to
kinda
get
fold.
skittish. Not really fold, because they're still 6-1. They've still battled them out. But when they played the North Texas Bobcats, it wasn't until the end of the game that they took control and won the game. And the same thing happened against Austin.
So we have to
The
make
second
sure
time
our
they played
lead,
Austin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to make sure our lead is way up there before the
So-
fourth quarter because they'll come back.
Both of those teams, North Texas Bobcats and Austin, took them right down to the fourth quarter. Neither one of those teams are as good as the Gunslingers. And that's the most recent games that North Texas has played besides playing the Gunslingers. Has been Austin and North Texas. And both of those games that they've struggled, and those teams aren't as good as us. I know it sounds like, oh, he's a homer. He's saying that because he's a Gunslingers guy. Sure, maybe. That's the way you see it, but I'm really looking at things logistically and trying to take my hope as a Gunslingers fan that that's what happened. And looking at it and going, I see one team that's coming up, and I see one team that has struggled lately.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, I think the team that is on its way up and has more potential to do even better than they've done, because that's the thing. The Gunslingers have played really well and won 6 games in a row, 5 games in a row. We got one of those victories on forfeit, so that is what it is. But they've won 5 games in a row. At no point in that 5-game run am I like, and they're hitting on all cylinders. There's always been like, they won, but they could do more.
It's true.
Well, this is the last chance. Like, if they're going to do more, they got to do more now. And I think I think this is it. Like, I really think this is going to be the game. I hope it is, because now I've kind of gone out there.
You sure have. You put it out there
now.
You put it out there.
I mean,
oh, that's sweet.
What?
That all he wants for Father's Day is the Gunslinger Championship.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be Father's Day.
No.
Isn't it? Wait.
Not that. No, it's the 20th.
No, it's the next the following one. Yeah, but that's still.
Well, we can celebrate
2 more weekends.
That is a good Father's Day wish for sure.
Now we have a lot of dads in the team too.
They could, for my birthday, the Gunslingers can make me right and blow them out. My birthday was just yesterday.
That's right. We sing happy birthday to you.
Yeah, you did. Well, on the Facebook Live.
I did.
We didn't do it on the podcast. No, we're not doing it again.
Okay.
But yeah, the Gunslingers for my birthday could make me right.
There you go.
Win the championship of the AAL West and make Phillip right.
If
There's your motivation.
yeah,
Make some fat guy with a beard happy. There you go. That's your goal.
2 fat guys with a beard happy. I mean, I'll be happy too.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. My guess is there's other
2
fat
guys and a gal? How
in
about
San
that?
Antonio with
I
beards.
don't have
Any other
beard.
fat guys with beards out there watching?
Yeah.
Raise your hand.
That would be excited about a win for
Yeah.
the Gunslingers. Yeah. Let us know.
Yeah. If the Gunslingers can get pressure on Kent Jr.,
Which
and
they
make him
can.
uncomfortable.
We've seen that
Yes.
they can.
Yeah.
if they can make him uncomfortable like they did,
Mm-hmm.
and limit the turnovers, I don't see any reason why you're not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when you're talking about sports and prognosticating sports, you're right as much as you are wrong.
50-50 chance.
There's a great bit on The Simpsons, early in The Simpsons, when The Simpsons were really good, where Homer's betting on football, and he's watching a guy that's prognosticating before the game, and he's like, he's right 54% of the time, or 52% of the time. Yeah, it's 52% of the time. Well, he calls the game, and Homer bets on it that way, whatever way that guy calls it. And at the end of the game, they've lost. It was wrong. And the guy comes on and he goes, well, when you're right 52% of the time, you're wrong 48% of the time. And Homer goes, why didn't you say that before? When you're prognosticating football, sometimes if you're doing better than 50%, you're doing pretty well.
Doing good,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I can be wrong. I don't think I am.
No, of course.
I think this team has
It has what
enough
it takes.
talent and potential
For sure.
that they can soundly beat North Texas.
I like the Bunnies' chances.
I'm not killing a bunny.
Why would you freak that out to kill a bunny?
Not killing any bunnies.
No bunnies. Is that what that little bunny
Full
is?
grown.
Is that a bunny?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No bunny.
Because it's
Somebody-
cute. Nobody wants a bunny to,
Yeah.
Die.
That's why. So the Gunslingers are going to win.
There
Oh,
you
they're
go.
gonna win either way. Bunny or no bunny.
If I
Beard
said
or no
If
beard.
I'd said a snake or a crocodile or something, no one would care.
Right?
That's true.
Or, a fish. Because then I could just put tap water in the thing.
James Stout is a big fish.
Oh,
guy,
is he really?
Yeah, he's
I didn't
got
know
like
that.
those big tanks. Yeah. So
I had no idea.
he would be offended.
So this is it. This is the championship.
That's right.
Would it be nice if we could win this game
Of course.
and get a call at
From
the
who?
end
Who's gonna call us?
next week from Charlotte and says, hey,
Oh.
bring your team on up. Let's play a game. Would that be cool?
That would be awesome.
That
That would be incredible.
Just where are they going to play it? That would be the thing. But yeah,
New
If Charlotte
Orleans.
called and said, bring
Let's
your
go to
team
New
up
Orleans.
here.
Let's go to New Orleans.
No,
don't know.
because there's nobody in New Orleans.
I
to
don't know,
watch
but
the
it's
game.
halfway.
Yeah, but there's nobody there that's going to care about that game. It's either got to be here in San Antonio
Yeah.
or
Well,
up
let
there.
it be
so the
here.
fans
Let it
will
be
get-
here
yeah.
then. I vote for here.
If Charlotte called and said,
I'm
hey,
gonna call him over the weekend.
you bring your team up here, we'll give you a game and play. I like the Gunslingers' chances in that too. We may lose. I don't know enough about Charlotte. I haven't been able to watch a lot of them.
You know what
but I know that their opponents are not that great.
You know what would determine where the home game would have to be? Obviously, they need to stream it, so it would be which team had the better broadcast.
So of course we won.
Well,
it would be San Antonio.
Under that logic, actually, the team without the broadcast should host the game.
Why is that?
I don't
Because
like that logic.
because their fans can go watch the game like they have been all year. The team with the better broadcast will broadcast the game for their fans back home. So by that logic, the team with the better broadcast would actually be the road team. But you do it by record.
Okay.
This is how you always have to do
That's
this.
true.
Yes.
If one team plays, if two teams are going to play each other, where's the home game? If you're not going to play in a neutral site, I don't think a neutral site makes sense.
No.
Because there's nobody that's going to come watch a game in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, which is about halfway between Charlotte and here.
Okay.
Nobody for the Mississippi Raiders is going to care if the Charlotte Thunder or San Antonio Gunslingers win. So they're not going to show up to that game.
I'm gonna give somebody a call today. Or not
So,
today, this weekend.
so you got to host it somewhere. You got to host it in one of the
I
cities.
say San Antonio.
And you do that by record, and they're undefeated, and we've got a loss. So it's in Charlotte, but if Charlotte, I think move heaven and earth and make that game happen because I
That'd
want
be
to see
fun.
how that works.
That would be
fun.
awesome. Yes, it would.
Somebody call Ted Ginn. Somebody call Thomas Davis.
Yeah.
Those are the two owners, both former Carolina Panthers.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
both
Hector's a big Carolina. Hector,
Wealthy.
get on the phone.
Call them already.
Hector.
Yeah, they both got NFL money. They
got
can make
money.
this thing.
Oh
happen.
yeah, they could do it.
We don't need the AL
No.
anymore.
They
we
could
don't.
pay for a broadcast team to
We'll
go
just-
over there. And
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? No, it would be really cool if that were to happen. We're all dreaming.
That'd be epic.
I can't imagine. I don't know. Maybe Charlotte thinks.
Crazier things have happened.
Maybe Charlotte is just as upset as we are. It's like, no, we want to be the champions. We don't want to say we were undefeated
Yeah.
and we beat everybody we played.
Well,
we
I'm
want
sure they are.
We want to say we were the champions.
Didn't in another league, was it the Orlandos that they claimed them to be their champions?
That
and
was
then
in the
the AAF,
because
yeah.
that was a different circumstance. The season
The season ended.
Right,
ended
but they called themselves the
abruptly
champions.
because the league folded.
Yeah.
and they're like, well, we had the best record, so we're the champions.
Well, and they beat everybody
They beat
that
everyone,
would have
yeah.
been a challenger for the championship. So,
Yeah, I mean,
because they had beat us barely.
barely.
God, second game would have been great.
Let's not talk about it.
They had beaten Arizona, which was another team that could
Yeah.
have given them, and they had beaten San Diego,
Yeah.
I think. So they had beaten everybody.
I was in Best Buy recently. We were buying something there. I don't remember what. And there was a couple in there, and the lady was wearing a Commander's shirt. And she
Yeah.
walks by me. She stops. She's looking at something. And I looked at her, and she looked up and noticed me. And I said, your shirt hurts my heart.
Yeah.
And
It,
she's like, oh, man, it was so fun. And I was like, oh, man, you're telling me.
so let's end there because we
Yes.
need to wrap
Okay.
up the episode. Let's
Yeah.
end with that idea. The San Antonio Commanders, if you were a Commanders fan and that's how you got hooked into this whole thing,
Yep.
it was over by now. This isn't.
Yep.
That's true.
Like, it's not the playoff structure we wanted,
No, it's
No.
not.
but we're already talking about season 2.
That's
yes,
true.
we are.
Ownership's already talking about it. We're talking about it on the podcast. There are already plans in effect for season 2.
Woo!
By the time the Commanders had gotten to this point, it didn't exist
There was
anymore.
no more.
They never made it this far. So this is better.
Yes.
I mean, we've made it farther. We're going to complete a season. We're either going to be the champions or we're not.
That's true.
We're going to be.
But
We're
we
gonna
never
be.
I think we're going to be. But one of those things is going to happen. We're not going to have conversation forever about,
No.
who would have won between North Texas and San Antonio if they'd played one more time.
We'll find out Sunday.
This is all going to be it.
Sunday fun day.
Really? That's what you want to go out on.
Yeah, I do.
Sunday fun day.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing else?
Bang bang.
That's at the end
Guns up. Guns up.
Guns up. So this isn't our last show. We're gonna have at least
Right.
one more beyond this. And my expectation is we're gonna be really celebratory next week when we have a chance to gather together
Nice.
and talk about the Gunslingers whipping up on what are they gonna do to the Bulls?
Slaughter. BS. Bull slaughter.
RC said it. I didn't say it.
We may have to have some drinks on that show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, celebratory.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, sure.
We have to probably go to our favorite spot, our sponsor bar.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not it. Yeah, you're right.
Right? I say that.
Oh God.
Really? Here it is. Here's the payoff. There it is. We're great. You suck. I said I wasn't going to do it,
You said you weren't.
You did.
but I did.
You couldn't contain yourself.
Couldn't contain myself. No, we're excited for the game. It's great that these two teams are the ones that get to play this final game. Whatever happens beyond that stinks that we're not going to get to see. But the fact that this is how it is going to go down, and there is this third game between these two teams. They both played. They both won against each other.
Yeah.
There's no better way. You couldn't have written this script better.
No, this is exactly how you would hope it would go outside of those few things.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap things up right there. So all that's left to be said is Smokin Gunz Podcast is brought to you by
Texas Sports LMT, that stands for Licensed Massage Therapist, specializes in sports massage, sports stretch, Swedish, and deep tissue massage. Texas Sports LMT has been in business 8 years and was nominated Best of San Antonio 3 years in a row. She worked alongside the San Antonio Commanders, making sure they were game day ready at all times. She has also worked and provided sports stretch to numerous players from the NFL and the NFL Combine. Sports stretch is structured to be performed on athletes of any size or stature. It is safe for just about anyone who is looking to gain flexibility in order to perform better or on the field, in the gym, and in everyday activities. And I can tell you right now, guess who's getting a massage on Monday? That would be me.
some of the players, I'm sure.
No, me. I'm getting a massage from Laura on Monday.
Oh, I thought you really wanted us to guess. So.
I'm sorry. Okay, the players might after the game, but I'm getting a massage 1 o'clock. So don't call me at 1 o'clock. So give Laura the Texas Sports LNT.
Deal.
Got it. A call to set up an appointment today at 210-459-0176. Again, call Laura at 210-459-0176. It's not how you train, it's how you recover.
Smokin Gunz Podcast is also brought to you. We've already talked about them once, but I don't talk about them again. I'm just going to mention their names.
Sure.
Our amazing patrons.
Patreons?
I think we call them patrons.
Okay.
I think that's what we go with.
All right.
Iris and Mo, Herman, Alba, Greg and Kim, Humphrey, Adriana, Warren, all of those guys.
Love
Awesome
ya.
people.
We talked about them earlier. I'll talk about them again. I'll talk about them to the end of time.
Besitos.
Because they're a big part of what we do. Special thanks to James Stoldt for coming on.
For sure.
Thanks, James.
All of those that jumped on with us Facebook Live and made the show even better by interacting with us live. Mm-hmm. Watch out. You never know. We didn't even say anything. This was a surprise live episode.
That's
we never
true.
even promoted it. And we still had 12
We
or
got it
15
like
of you
that.
guys checking in. So when it comes to football in San Antonio,
Yes,
Right here, Aki.
only one team
that's right.
can be the champions.
Numero uno.
That's us.
And is it going to be the Gunslingers?
For sure.
Hell yeah.
And why is that? Why are we going to be the champions over somebody like the North Texas Bulls?
Because we're the best.
We're great. You suck.
The Bulls suck.
BS.
The
Bull
enemy.
slaughter.
No, seriously, y'all suck.
It's going to be a slaughter.
We really respect what they do out there, but we're better.
Yes, we
In
are.
every way.
When it comes to football in San Antonio, we've got the fans, we've got the football, we've got
do.
the
Tailgating.
food, we've got the team, and we've got a message. We got a message specifically for those North Texas Bulls, and that is when it comes to football, arena football in Texas, and all over the country, the 210 He's got something to say.
Bang, bang.